On behalf of the Chief of Defence Staff, I welcome you once again to Defence Headquarters Conference Room for the fortnightly brief on troops' activities and operational successes being recorded in the various operational theatres within the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In the past 2 weeks, both kinetic and non-kinetic operations were conducted in the various theatres of operations with significant results recorded. The brief will therefore cover operational activities of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agents conducted in addressing the various security challenges across the country within the period 9th to 23rd March 2023, starting from the North-East Zone. Troops of Operation Hadinkai and other operational activities in the North-East Zone of the country have sustained and continue to dominate their general area of operations. Operational activities were conducted in villages, forests, mountain, towns, and cities in Goza, Askira Uba, Kukawa, Mongunu, Damboa, Moba, Kwanduga, Ngala, Bama, Dekwa, and Guzumala local government areas of Borno State, and Unisari, Gedam, Kawasura, and Damaturu local government area of Yobe State. Operations were also conducted in Bali local government area of Taraba State. Several raid, fighting patrols, and ambush operations were conducted to curb activities of terrorists and other criminal elements within the area of operations. Notably, on 10th and 11th March 2023, troops, while acting on credible intelligence, ambushed Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists at locations within Askira Uba, Kukawa, Goza, Damboa local government areas of Borno State. At all these locations, troops made contact with the terrorists, during which 7 terrorists were neutralized while others fled in disarray with gunshot wounds. Troops exploited the general area and recovered 8 AK-47 rifles, 64 rounds of 7.62mm special, 120 rounds of 7.62mm belted ammunition, 1 pump action gun, 1 PKT machine gun, 13 rounds of 5.56mm ammunition, 1 jackknife, 1 mechanic toolbox, military camouflage uniform, 1 Boateng radio, 6 motorcycles, 1 blanket, 4 mobile phones, and a sack of granules. Equally, on 12 March 2023, troops, while on fighting patrol, intercepted a vehicle and arrested 6 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorist logistics supplier at Kalari Abdul village in Kwanduga local government area of Borno State. Troops recovered 1 vehicle, 8 mobile phones, the sum of 2,226,450 naira only, among other sundry items. On the same day, troops conducted search and rescue operations at suspected kidnapper hideout at Moyoladi Miwa, Giwa village in Askira Uba local government area of Borno State, and Modori and Guruzuru village in Unisari local government area of Yobe State. Following the operations, 4 suspected kidnappers were arrested and 6 kidnapped victims rescued, while troops also recovered 1 AK-47 rifle and 6 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition. In another development, on 14th March 2023, troops conducted clearance operations to terrorist enclave within Ngala local government area of Borno State. During the operation, troops made contact with Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists, and following the firefight, 6 terrorists were neutralized. Troops exploited the general area and recovered 3 AK-47 rifles, 10 den guns, 12 dummy rifles, 118 rounds of 7.62mm by 50mm NATO ammunition, 10 rounds of 7.62mm by 54mm NATO ammunition, 1 round of 12.7mm NATO ammunition, 41 livestock, 2 mobile phones, and the sum of 4,000 naira only. Troops also rescued 49 kidnapped civilians comprising of 26 adults and 23 children. Additionally, between 15 and 22nd March 2023, troops on fighting patrol to Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province enclave at villages within Biu, Goza, and Bama local government areas of Borno State had an encounter with terrorists. Following a fierce firefight, troops neutralized 7 terrorists and arrested 5. Troops exploited these various locations and recovered 4 AK-47 rifle, 7 AK-47 magazine, 1 60mm mortar bomb, 1 firing pin, 102 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 2 donkey, 10 mobile phone, 10 sachets of Anzol tablet, 199 sachets of Tramadol tablets, and the sum of 4,370 naira only, as well as rescued 64 kidnapped victims. Equally, on 12 March 2023, troops conducted operational activities to terrorist leader hideout at Zodia village in Bari local government area of Taraba State, but no contact was made. Troops, however, searched the general area and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 16 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 5 SIM cards, name printout, and 18 cartridges suspected to belong to the terrorist leader. Consequently, within the weeks in focus, troops in the northeast zone of the country recovered 16 AK-47 rifles, 1 60mm mortar bomb, 10 den guns, 12 dummy rifles, 1 pump action gun, 1 PKT machine gun, 280 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 118 rounds of 7.62mm by 50mm NATO ammunition, 13 rounds of 5.56mm ammunition, 10 rounds of 12.62mm NATO ammunition, 1 rounds of 12.7 NATO ammunition, 17 AK-47 rifle magazine, 1 firing pin, 1 mechanic toolbox, 2 knives, 6 motorcycles, 24 mobile phones, 41 livestock, assorted foodstuff, 1 vehicle, 4 SIM card and other sundry items, as well as the cash sum of 2,234,820 naira only. Troops also neutralized 13 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists, arrested 6 logistics suppliers, and rescued 119 adopted civilians, while a total of 1,506 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province and members of their families, comprising 154 adult male, 514 adult females, and 838 children surrendered to own troops at different locations within the theater of operations. All recovered items, rescued civilians, and apprehended suspects have been handed over to appropriate authorities for further action, whilst the surrendered Boko Haram terrorists and members of their families are being profiled for further action. Equally, the air component of Operation Hadinkai conducted several air interdiction operations against terrorist enclave and logistics supplies in support of ground operations. Notably, on 14 March 2023, following intelligence report that revealed the convergence of some wanted terrorists in some forest locations in Borno and Yobe states to restructurize their terrorist escapade. Consequently, several air interdiction operations were carried out at these locations. Feedback revealed that several terrorists were neutralized in the airstrikes, while ground troops mopped up operations to look and recovered 1 gun truck, 3 AK-47 rifles, 1 PKT machine gun, 1 PKT metal links with 19 rounds, 2 improvised explosive devices, 129 rounds of 7.62mm by 39mm ammunition, 5 motorcycles, fuel tanks, 3 bulletproof plates, 60 solar panels, while 2 terrorist logistic depots were also destroyed. Now to the North Central Zone. Troops of Operation Safe Haven and White Stroke have sustained the offensive action against terrorists and other criminal elements in the general area of operation. In furtherance to this, operational activities were carried out in villages and local government areas of Kwara, Plateau, Kogi, and Niger State, respectively. Precisely on 12 March 2023, troops arrested 2 suspected kidnappers while attempting to collect ransom for a kidnapped victim at Gedu Beki village in Kogi local government area of Kogi State. Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect was sent to collect a sum of 2 million naira only. Additionally, on 11th March 2023, based on credible intelligence, troops conducted fighting patrol to Gubuad Forest in Patagi local government area of Kwara State. Following an encounter, troops arrested 6 suspected terrorists and recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, 2 Buffalo trucks with 2 boxes of alkaline battery, 31 headsets, 6 tires, 2 exhaust pipes, 2 jerrycans of premium motor spirit, 1 pumping machine, and a gearbox. On the same day, following credible intelligence, troops in conjunction with Department of State Services agents on search operation in Kasa village in Barikin local government area of Plateau State intercepted and arrested 1 person and recovered 584 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition. Equally, between 16 to 22nd March 2023, troops on Operation White Stroke conducted fighting patrol to criminal hideouts in villages in Guma and Ukum local government area of Benue State and made contact with the terrorists. Following an encounter, troops neutralized 8 terrorists and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 2 pistols, 2 den guns, 44 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 5 rounds of 9mm ammunition, 2 AK-47 rifle magazine, 1 cartridge, 18 cutlasses, 3 ID cards, 1 mobile phone, and a bunch of keys. Troops also rescued 5 kidnapped civilians and arrested 7 criminals. In another development, troops conducted fighting patrols to the Independent National Commission office in Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State on 18th March 2023 and intercepted some armed thugs. Troops searched the general area where the thugs were seen and recovered 2 pump-action guns, 4 locally made den guns, 2 machetes, 4 mobile phones, and 1 vehicle, as well as arrested 6 thugs. Accordingly, within the week in view, troops recovered 6 AK-47 rifles, 2 pistols, 6 den guns, 2 pump-action guns, 2 AK-47 rifle magazines, 5 rounds of 9mm ammunition, 626 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 1 cartridge, 18 cutlasses, 2 machetes, 1 pumping machine, 6 tires, 31 used headsets, 2 boxes of alkaline batteries, 2 exhaust pipes, 2 jerrycans of premium motor spirit, and bunch of keys, and 3 ID cards, among other items. Troops also neutralized 8 bandits and arrested 28 criminals. Troops also rescued 5 kidnapped civilians and recovered the sum of 2 million naira meant for ransom. All recovered items, arrested suspects, and rescued civilians have been handed over to relevant authorities for further action. Now to the Northwest Zone. Troops of Operation Harin Daji and other operations in the Northwest Zone have continued to sustain their dominance over the menace of terrorists and other criminal activities. Precisely on 10th March 2023, troops intercepted and arrested 11 suspected terrorists at Dukum town in Dukum local government area of Gombe State. Troops searched the general area and recovered 7 pump-action guns, 2 locally fabricated cartridges, and 10 mobile phones. Also, between 11th to 13th March 2023, troops conducted fighting patrols to bandit camps at villages within Chukum local government area of Kaduna State, as well as villages within Usagu, Danko, and Zuru local government area of Kebbi State, and made contact with the terrorists. Following the various encounters, troops neutralized 2 bandits while others fled with gunshot wounds. Troops exploited the various camps and recovered 139 rounds of 7.62mm by 54mm links for PKT GPMG, 8 motorcycles, 175 cows, 113 sheep, and 2 mobile phones, while 12 kidnapped victims were also rescued. Also, on 13th and 16th March 2023, troops on fighting patrol to Fatika village in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State and Maru local government area of Zamfara State responded to information on terrorist activities. Troops made contact with the terrorists, and following the firefight, troops neutralized 5 terrorists while others fled. Troops, however, searched the general area and recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, 2 AK-47 magazines, 26 rounds of 7.62mm by 39mm special ammunition, 4 motorcycles, 1 solar panel, 1 hand pump, and a sum of 23,700 naira only. Additionally, between 16th to 22nd March 2023, troops conducted fighting patrol to villages in Chukum and Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State, as well as Usogo local government area of Kebbi State, Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State, and Isa local government area of Sokoto State, and made contact with terrorists. Following the various firefights, troops neutralized 11 terrorists and destroyed 11 motorcycles. Troops also recovered 6 AK-47 rifles, 1 PKT machine gun, 218 rounds of 7.62mm special, 47 rounds of PKT ammunition, 9 smoke canisters, 11 locally made improvised explosive devices, 1 40mm high explosive armor piercing bomb, 1 RPG-7 tube, 1 jackknife, 6 cartridges, 2 AK-47 rifle magazines, loaded with 40 rounds of 7.62mm special, among other items. Equally, on 11th March 2023, troops of Operation Wild Stroke, while on recognition mission, intercepted and arrested 2 bandit suppliers at the outskirts of Gwagwada village in Chukum local government area of Kaduna State. Cumulatively, within the period in review, troops in the northwest zone of the country recovered 14 AK-47 rifle magazine, 1 PKT GPMG, 1 RPG-7 tube, 15 AK-47 rifle magazine, 7 pump-action guns, 139 rounds of 7.62mm by 58mm links ammunition, 218 rounds of 7.62mm special, 47 rounds of PKT ammunition, 9 smoke canisters, 4 locally made improvised explosive devices, 1 40mm high explosive armor piercing ammunition, 2 locally made cartridges, 12 mobile phones, 18 motorcycles, parts of detergents, hard drugs, assorted food items, and a sum of 9,670 naira only. Troops equally neutralized 14 terrorists, arrested 12 terrorist logistics suppliers, and rescued 16 adopted civilians. All recovered items, arrested suspects, and rescued civilians have been handed over to relevant authorities for further action. Now to the south-south zone of the country. Troops of Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe and other operations in the south-south region of the country have continued to sustain the war against oil theft, illegal refinery, and other criminal activities in the Niger Delta through aggressive patrols, raid, and clearance operations, among other activities. Operations were conducted at the creeks, waterways, high sea towns and cities of Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers State, Cross Rivers, and Akwa Ibom State, respectively, which yielded significant results. Notably, on 18th and 20th March 2023, troops on patrol within Igbemoto, Komala waterways in southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State and over Aleru village in Ika, northeast local government area of Delta State, responded to kidnap incident but made no contact. Troops exploited general area and recovered one AK-47 rifle and 2 magazines loaded with 60 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 1 locally made pistol, 1 cartridge, 70 rounds of 7.62mm special, 5 cutlasses, and 4 mobile phones, among other sundry items. Equally, on 19 March 2023, troops responded to election disruption within Agbakiri community in Humwa local government area of Rivers State and made contact with armed thugs and arrested 7 armed thugs. Troops also neutralized 2 of the thugs and recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, 1 FN rifle, 4 AK-47 magazine, 1 pistol loaded with 2 rounds of 7.9mm ammunition, 1 pump action gun, 4 cartridges, 16 rounds of 7.62mm special, and a Hilux vehicle. Additionally, troops of Operation Delta Safe, in the conduct of Operation Octopus Grip and Operation Takata da Barau, within the week in focus, recovered and destroyed 107 illegal refinery sites, 140 storage tanks, 58 reservoirs, 151 ovens, 68 dugout pits, and 22 wooden boats. Troops equally recovered 561,200 liters of crude oil, 119,000 liters of automotive gas oil, 1 fabricated boat, 1 fiber boat, 5 pumping machines, 2 outboard engines, 10 new GP tanks, 1 tricycle, and 6 vehicles, while a total of 9 suspected criminals were apprehended. All the recovered items and suspected criminals have been handed over to appropriate authorities for further actions. It is worthwhile to mention that the sum of 277,357,800 naira only was denied oil theft within the weeks in focus. Now to the southeast region of the country. Troops of Joint Task Force Operation Udoka in the southeast zone of the country have sustained the fight against the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network criminals aimed at restoring peace and normalcy in the zone. Notably, on 10th March 2023, troops conducted cordon and search operations to villages in Igbo, Ize, and Izu, Uzo, North local government areas of Enugu State. During the operations, troops arrested 18 indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network criminals. Troops also recovered 4 serviceable and 2 unserviceable pump action guns, 11 cartridges, 13 machetes, 3 knives, 161 permanent voters card, 10 pairs of boots, 1 handcuff, 3 camp bed, among other items, while 2 criminals were also neutralized during the operation. Equally, between 11th and 14th March 2023, troops on fighting patrol to the indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network camp in villages within Ihiala local government area of Anambra State, Enugu South local government area of Enugu State, and Oguta local government area of Imo State made contacts with the criminals and neutralized 2 of the terrorists. Troops exploited the general area and recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 7 pump action guns, 4 den guns, 2 rounds of 7.6 of 9mm ammunition, 10 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 1 locally made pistol, 7 cartridges, 1 double-barrel gun, 7 cutlasses, 2 locally made handcuffs, 1 vehicle, 6 motorcycles, 34 pairs of indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network uniforms, 3 black boats, while 7 criminals were also arrested by troops. Also, on 16th to 22nd March 2023, troops on patrol at Nnewi Junction in Ari local government area of Enugu State and villages in Iza local government area of Ebonyi State had encounter with indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network criminals mounted on motorcycles en route to their camp. Troops pursued the criminals, and in the firefight that ensued, 3 criminals were neutralized and 7 arrested during the operation. Troops exploited the general area and recovered 7 AK-47 rifles, 10 pump-action guns, 3 locally fabricated pistols, 46 empty cases of ammunition, 3 AK-47 rifle magazine, 120 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 1 carton and 17 pieces of cartridges, 1 cutlass, 4 Bafeng radios, 5 mobile phones, and 8 motorcycles. Consequently, within the week in view, troops recovered 5 AK-47 rifles, 29 pump-action guns, 3 den guns, 4 locally made pistols, 1 double-barrel gun, 2 rounds of 9mm ammunition, 188 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 46 rounds of empty case of ammunition, 7 live cartridges, 3 magazines, 4 Bafeng radios, 16 machetes, 3 knives, 14 motorcycles, 1 vehicle, 5 mobile phones, and several pairs of indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network uniforms and boots. Troops also neutralized 7 criminals and arrested 32 indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network criminals. All recovered items and apprehended suspects have been handed over to appropriate authorities for further action. Now to the southwest zone of the country. Troops of Operation Awase in the southwest region of the country have continued to clamp down on the activities of criminal elements within the general area of operation. Notably, on 10th March 2023, troops in conjunction with National Drug Law Enforcement Agencies raided Awuwawa and General Paint in Ajah general area of Etiasa local government area of Lagos State. During the operation, troops arrested 14 suspected criminals and recovered 5 kilograms of cannabis, 7 kilograms of illicit drugs, 4 bottles of codeine, 6 grams of tramadol, 9 grams of metamorphine, and the sum of 3,200 naira only. Equally, troops on patrol in Yemetu area in Ibadan North local government area of Oyo State and Idare local government area of Ondo State and Omimi Victoria Island in Etiosa local government area of Lagos State had an encounter and arrested 7 armed thugs attempting to disrupt electoral process in the area on 18th March 2023. Troops recovered from the armed thugs 4 AK-47 rifles, 3 jackknife, 2 cartridge guns, 2 mobile phones, 1 cutlass, and 350 sachets of cannabis. On a final note, I wish to once again convey the Military High Command commendation on the unrelenting effort of troops and other security agents in the various theater of operation across the length and breadth of the country. The media community is once again acknowledged for their partnership and continued cooperation with the military and other security agents in our quest to restore peace and security to our dear country. Also, the entire populace is hereby appreciated for their support given to members of the armed forces and other security agents in the conduct of our various operations across the country, while also urging them to continue to provide prompt and credible information on the activities of terrorists and other criminal elements in their respective areas. And in that course, I told you that yes, despite the deployment, we know that we still have some desperate people who want to constitute nuisance to the process. And we told you that yes, it will happen, but we equally assured you that yes, they will be dealt with decisively. And that is what happened. And that is what happened. And that's why you're seeing that people were arrested during the process. Just like any other person, you cannot get it 100%. And we cannot sit down here and beat our chest that yes, 100% there will be zero electoral violence. So, but the assurance we gave you people was that yes, as far as long as there was electoral violence, and to a large extent, unlike in the past where we used to see widespread violence across the length and breadth of the nation, in this case it was not the same thing. All the issues that came up were nipped in the bud at the appropriate time, within the shortest possible time. And that is why it was not widespread in any of the states across the nation of the country. On the second question, what is going to happen to the arrested people? Like I told you, the police is the lead agency. Those who have been arrested have been handed over to the police for prosecution. The police and INEC for prosecution, and that's what is going to happen for all those who are arrested. Now, you said during the brief we just touched on some issues pertaining to the election. We will sit down and discuss the electoral process and equally other operations and activities across the length and breadth of this nation. We will remain here. Mind you, this brief is covering 2 weeks period. We will remain here for the next maybe 2 days and be telling you stories. And that's why we decided to just summarize it, so that we can at least touch on election. You will know that something was done during the election. People were arrested, we recovered weapons, and so on. So a lot of things happened during the election, and a lot of people were arrested during the election, and a lot of weapons and materials that were intended to be used to cause mayhem during the elections were recovered. And that is why we did not see we didn't see widespread violence or disruption of election during the election period.